Welcome to our Business Ethics and Social Responsibility. For this class, my name is Teacher Wright A. Castillo, the Mr. Stark and Iron Man of Bansud Institute.
Every culture endorses an ethical way to live. Following a code of ethics is actually an ethical approach. Values are our basic concepts of good and bad, or right and wrong. Values come from our society and our culture. Principles are a basic application of our values. We apply principles to specific situations in order to come up with a set of actions that we consider to be ethical. Managerial support, and especially top management support, is absolutely critical to a successful code of ethics. Personal responsibility also refers to accountability for one's own actions, so we need to identify the consequences to an employee if they violate the code of ethics. The compliance factor can identify applicable laws or industry regulations that must be adhered to as part of a code of ethics. Management always has to take the lead in being ethical, or employees will not perform.
So what is a code of conduct? A code of conduct is simply a set of principles and expectations that guide the behavior of all those who belong to a particular organization. Every organization needs to have a code of conduct for its members. Otherwise, it's merely taking its chances that the goodwill and the good ethics and intentions of the individuals within it will suffice. Unfortunately, as human nature and circumstance demonstrates, we can't just rely solely on the good ethics of individuals to move the organization forward. An organization must act as a corporate body to lay down the rules and provide ethical expectations to everyone, despite the ethics of the individuals within the organization. Herein lies the importance of a code of conduct: unity, standards, and direction. Unity. A code of conduct provides unity as it definitively states that there are certain ethical behaviors that we, that is everyone within the organization, will adopt and abide by despite the ethical bent of any particular employee or group. Next, standards. A code of conduct takes the guesswork out of the equation, as each employee knows exactly what the ethical standards are, as well as the expectations of his or her coworkers. And finally, direction. In a forward-thinking organization, a code of conduct provides clear direction to people. It tells them where the organization is headed and what will guide it on the journey. A code of conduct is not just a set of rules. It's a document that conveys values and principles. It should not only give you, the employee, specific direction in uncertain situations, but should be a clear, unequivocal moral statement of an organization's values of right and wrong.
Code of Conduct and Ethics for Employees. Welcome. Joe, I am glad you could join me today for our Code of Conduct and Ethics for Employees training. Today I'm going to walk you through the basics of a Code of Conduct and Ethics, as well as your role and responsibility in adherence to the company's codes.
Sounds great. I'm ready to go.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever experienced an ethical dilemma?
Do you mean a situation where I'm not sure what the right or wrong course of action would be?
Yes. Can you recall how you handled it?
Honestly, I didn't handle it well. I remember, in my situation, there wasn't necessarily a right or wrong choice, but there was definitely a better choice, and I chose the wrong one. I guess ethical choices are not always black and white.
You're right, Joe. Sometimes there are gray areas, and this is where a code of conduct and ethics will be your best resource for solving these dilemmas. In the Code of Ethics, you can learn about the character of the organization you work for, in the same way you might wish to learn about the character of a new friend. An organization's code of conduct specifies behavioral expectations. It also sets boundaries. In personal relationships, boundaries are typically set after a breach of confidence has occurred. In business, the boundaries are set before unwanted events occur. Both the Code of Conduct and ethics are valuable business tools that give our organization a voice regarding its character and expectations. These tools educate employees and improve their ability to function as valuable members of the organization.
I see. That sounds like a very handy tool.
It sure is. So remember that getting to know your organization's code of conduct is like getting to know a new friend, and understanding this will lead to a healthy business relationship. So, what do you say? Shall we get started?
Let's get acquainted.
In business organization. Number 1 is the word bookkeeping. As the name implies, bookkeeping is a system of maintaining record and data within a centralized book. With modern advancement in technology, of course, data is no longer written entirely in long or shorthand or retained within a physical master ledger book. Okay, we have the computer, that we have a program or software that encode mo lang lahat doon, yung mga data, yung interest, yung profit, yung expenses and everything na kailangan mo with regards sa financial matters or in yung financial statement as a preparation. Okay, so ito ay ginagawa natin sa tatawag natin quote-unquote bookkeeping. And of course, this is done by a bookkeeper. Of course, the bookkeeper should be qualified or at least meron siyang somehow knowledge accounting at of course mathematics and computer and of course computation. Okay, everything about money. At least meron siyang basic knowledge sa mga bagay na yan. Okay? So we can find the bookkeeping sa natawag nating cash versus accrual method, chart of accounts, journals, financial statements, day books, cash books, at yung natawag nating ledgers. Okay? Ledgers mahaba. Okay? At hanggang doon kasi yung parang na-spreadsheet siya. Okay? So ang haba nun eh. Para talagang detail, ano ba yung ginagastosan mo, anong month, buwan, taon, nakalagay doon. Okay? So that is bookkeeping. And more of a bookkeeping, of course, yung natawag nating accounting. Okay, yung nag-account ng mga pera, nag-account ng gastos, expenses, profit, lahat ng mga bagay na yon. Okay? So the practice of maintaining documentation about the business fiscal operations has become steadily more essential, and thanks to the increased reliance upon computerized programs and the scrutiny placed upon business transactions stemming from heightened regulatory laws and reporting procedures. Documentation also has become more sophisticated in terms of how data is recorded and stored because of a newly introduced program and metrics. Kaya nga sa panahon natin ngayon, the work of a bookkeeper is made easy through technology. Dahil meron na tayo tinatawag na computer, and the computer will be your partner to encode and save your data or files regarding sa financial matters. Okay? Bookkeeping, in the other hand, refers to the day-to-day techniques employed to expedite the general record-keeping process. This grouping covers the imputing of amounts, days, and sources for each item on both the revenue or the assets and expense, the debits sides of the ledger. Basta lahat ng gastusin, lahat ng pinag-unan, lahat ng kita, buwan, taon, so yan, yung bookkeeping ang may kapakanan yan. Okay? Number 2, the common practices, of course, in business organization ay tinatawag nating policies. Okay? So, of course, sa policies ay ito yung mga dapat nating sundan na mga pamantayan, mga kautusan, mga plano, solusyon, at maging pag-uugali, okay? At mga batas ng kumpanya. Ito yung mga polisiya sa Tagalog na ating sinusundan at batayan para tayo ay magsagawa at umakto sa loob ng isang business organization. Okay? So, as employees are hired, it is important that they understand the correct work process to ensure that the service or product maintains high quality. Kaya, don't ever forget that. For you as a future employees, do not forget to study yung tinatawag nating policies and guidelines ng school. O as a mag-aaralan, kung kayo ay papasok sa isang trabaho, yung kanilang corporate policies and guidelines. Okay? Kaya lang, meron tayong ugali na ganito. Pag tayo ay nag-download ng isang application, at meron naman nakalagay doon or nag-fill up tayo, meron nakalagay doon na do you agree or disagree. Commonly, ang ginagawa natin ay nag-a-agree na lang dahil ayaw nating basahin yung napakahaba na terms and conditions. But, did you know that napaka-importante nun pagdating sa pagtatrabaho? Basahin nyo ng maigi yun before kayong pumirma ng kontrata at mag-start as the employee of the company. Okay? So, policies and procedure provides a guide for meeting organizational objectives and describe the steps that employees are to take when creating a product or delivering a service. So, ganyan. Hindi ka pwedeng gumawa ng sarili mong paraan. So, dito hindi pwede yung tinatawag ng I did it my way because the company has its own way of delivering their services. Okay? So, tandaan yan. This ensures consistency in practice and helps to maintain product quality. A policy will set the expectation for employee behaviors and the procedure outlines the step for it. Okay? So, kung paano din mag-ugali yung mga empleyado o manggagawa ay nakasaad din sa polisiya. Okay, let's go to number 3. Ay tinatawag nating reportorial requirement. So, I'm not gonna read this entirely. Let me just explain it to you in a simple terms. Okay? So, reportorial requirements is basically, ito po yung tinatawag natin mga annual reports that we need to comply annually. Kaya nga, annual reports. Meaning, yearly. Okay? For example, sa Security Exchange Commission. Meron tayong mga documents as a company that we should report yearly. Number 1, tinatawag natin GIS. This is the General Information Sheet. Ang nakapaloob dito ay yung mga may-ari ng kumpanya na kung saan kailangan yun taon-taon ay ine-update dahil maaari kung itong mapalitan yearly. Okay? Depende sa napag-usapan ng isang kumpanya. And of course, tinatawag nating financial statement or sa what we call in the corporate world, the FS. The GIS and FS are very important documents that we should comply, okay, sa Security and Exchange Commission. Of course, hindi lang yan yung mga reportorial requirements. Like another one is yung ating tax. Mag-file ka annually or quarterly or semi-annual lang iyong mga declaration ng iyong taxes o ng iyong mga buwis. Okay, so at iba pang mga bagay. Okay, so ito yung mga natawag natin mga reportorial requirements. Kung ikaw mag-start ng kumpanya, kailangan make sure you are registered sa Security Exchange Commission, sa DTI, sa Mayor's Permit, sa Sanitary Permit, at kung ano-ano pa. Hindi ka lang pwedeng magtayo ng isang tindahan dyan, cook, and then mag-start ka na. Okay? Kailangan ikaw ay secured at protected ng government. Kasi kung wala ka ng mga any kinds of these permits, you will be forced to be closed and karoon ka pa ng penalty. Magbabayad ka pa. Okay? Sinarado ka na nga, tapos magbabayad ka pa ng penalty. Kaya, when you are considering to establishing a business, kailangan alam mo lahat itong mga reportorial requirements. Okay? They are permits, they are the Constitution and Bylaws, FS, the GIS, the taxes, and so on and so forth. Okay? So, napakahalaga niyang mga bagay na yan. Okay? So, kung hindi ka mag-file niyan annually, magkakaroon ka ng tinatawag nating penalty. Okay? So, wag na wag ninyong magiging hobby yun pag nagkaroon kayo ng business na magpasa ng late or in-neglect na lang ang reportorial requirements ninyo. Because they will surprise you one day. Bibigyan ka nila ng sulat. Isulatan ka nila regarding sa mga bagay ito. Okay? Lalo na sa mga penalties mo. Kung hindi mo naman malayan, baon ka na pala sa utang. Okay, now let's go to the number 4, which is the decorum. Okay? From the word decorum, pag nalagay natin sa itang decorum, ito yung ating the way we talk, the way we walk, the way we look. Okay? Ito yung ating pananamit, ito yung pananalita, ito yung ating paglalakad, our manners. Okay? So, meron tayong tinatawag na proper decorum. Okay? So, proper hygiene, meron tayong proper decorum. Meron dito na yung 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least na 5 proper decorums. Number 1 is in-person meetings. Okay? So what is the proper decorum kapag ikaw ay nasa meeting? Of course, you will be there attentively. You will listen to the meeting and not doing other things like nag-cellphone ka habang nagmi-meeting, ikaw ay naka-earphone. So those are not proper decorum. Okay? So unethical yon. So kailangan pag naka-meeting ka, naka-focus ka, nakikinig ka, at the same time, nag-i-engage ka. Okay? So, unless kung merong important matters. But for the proper decorum practices, kailangan you will listen. But, mas masakit yung pakiramdam na yan kapag ikaw na yung nag-preside ng meeting. And everyone is doing their thing. Okay? Lahat sila busy na yun. Nakakainis yun. Okay? So, for you na hindi maramdaman yun, ay ikaw mismo, ay kapag may meeting or may klase, makinig ka. Okay? Attentively. All ears, all eyes to the presider of the meeting. Okay? At huwag kumalat ang isip mo. Number 2 is on the phone. Okay? Hindi ka lang basta-bastang, hello, kamusta ka na? Ano ba yung ganyan? Ba? Ano bang problema mo? Sino ka ba? Okay, yung pala, boss mo na yung kausap mo. Okay? So, kailangan at least meron, alam mo yung mga basic mga conversationals na dapat mong alam when you talk over the phone. Okay, like for example, hello, my name is Ryan Castillo from Basud Institute. How may I help you? Okay, parang gano'n. Okay, kung taga-Tagalog ka, alam po, ako po si Ryan Castillo ng Paaralan ng Basud Institute. Ano po ang may paglilingkod ko po sa inyo. Okay, so gano'n dapat. On the phone, kailangan napakagalang mo, napaka-professional mo. Okay, so that's the word. You should be professional at all time. Okay? Number 3 in email. Okay, sir? Kailangan, pag mag-i-email ka naman, ay wala na yung mga unnecessary emojis. Wala nang heart, wala nang flower, at hindi na taglish. Okay? So, when you are writing to your boss or your other co-workers, kailangan naman formal na. Okay? Practice being formal, like English, ganyan, greetings, ganyan. So, kailangan alam mo na yon. Unti-unti. Okay, huwag kang basta na parang nag-uusap lang kayo sakali. Okay? Kailangan you practice professionalism even in doing an email. Okay? For example, sa inyong pag-email or pag-chat sa akin sa Messenger, pag may tanong kayo, of course, approach nyo ako ng maayos as a teacher. And I will not hesitate, of course, to answer you correctly. Kailangan meron din tayo natawag na boundary. I'm your teacher and you are my student. Alam niyo dapat yung boundary. Hindi lang tayo sa tropa, hindi lang tayo sa kaibigan. Teacher, hindi niyo ako. Okay? So, mga ganun decorum. And number 4, dress and appearance. Dito tayo, of course, medyo nagkakaproblema. Of course, when you are facing sa company in the near future, or when you're sa inyong mga immersion, kailangan very presentable kayo. Yung outlook ninyo okay, yung inyong itsura okay. So, kailangan very presentable kayo. Hindi yung babae, gulo-gulo ang buhok, wagwag na wagwag, paglalaki, gusot-gusot yung damit. So, kailangan naman very presentable. Okay? So, dun pa lang kasi, nagre-reflect na yun ng iyong character. Okay? Kung yung sarili mo hindi mo kayang ayusin, paano pa kayong kumpanya? Okay? So, parang ganun lang yun. Okay? So, dress appropriately. Okay? And you should look ng maayos sa inyong outlook. Kung makeup naman kayo, mag-ayos naman kayo. Pagdating sa inyong mga reports, sa inyong pagpasok sa paaralan, dyan nagsisimula yan. And number 5 is social functions, the way you talk to people, the way you transact to people. Okay? So hindi yung, gusto rin yung ating kita. Ayos ba? Lugi ba? Ganyan. Hindi. Okay? So kailangan very presentable ka rin. Okay? So, meron kang i-present na maayos, kung meron kang presentation, ayusin mo. Siyempre, the way you talk to your client, if you are the boss, you should also act accordingly. Okay? With proper etiquette or quorum. Okay? So, yun yung natawag natin again, in-person meetings, on the phone, in the email, dress and appearance, and social functions. Okay? So, kapag ikaw ay umattend ng isang formal party, make sure ang suot mo ay pang social din. Okay? Dahil formal nga yung party, hindi yung parang rugged doon. Okay? So, kailangan maayos ka. If there's a formal dinner, kailangan maayos ka rin. You should know at least yung basic na paggamit ng mga knives, forks, spoons, doublet, okay, plates. So, kailangan alam mo yan kahit na paano. Okay? Kaya meron kayong personal development na inaaral nyo yun doon at kailangan nyo ma-apply yun pag dumating na kayo sa corporate world. Okay, so alaman nyo yung context. So kung boss mo nyo medyo geologs, okay, so sabayan mo siya. Pero pag formal yung settings, you should be formal. Okay? So, depende sa context. Okay, aralin nyo yan. Number 5, let's go to number 5, which is the protocol. Okay, so again, the protocol, ito din parang similar lang sa policies. But ito yung protocol, yung must. Okay? The must guidelines na kailangan mong sundin. It is crucial for business people to recognize the rules dominant in business practice. Ignorance is no excuse. Okay? Kagaya sinabi ko kanina, ignorance is no excuse. Hindi pwede mong sabihin na, hindi ko po alam eh. Hindi ko po alam na bawal pala mag-must. Hindi ko wala pwede pa nag-swab test ako ay dapat sa bahay lang. Hindi pwede yun. Ignorance doesn't excuse you to the law. Okay? Kasi dapat in the first place ay alam mo yon. Kaya nga, sabi ko sa inyo kanina, be very cautious with regards sa terms and condition. Kailangan alam niyo yung lahat na binasa doon kasi yun yung magiging basis nila para patalasikin ka at para i-promote ka rin. Okay? So, kailangan alam niyo yun. It will usually mean the loss of good business contact. Learning the protocol, particularly the elements that initiate business contacts, appointment, greetings, and gift giving is really essential. Okay? For example, sa kumpanya pala, bawal pala yung gift giving. Ikaw naman, tanggap sa mga kliyente, sa mga pumunta doon na mga papaayos ng papel sa'yo. Bigyan ng regalo, tinignan ka naman, salamat po. Yan, nasunod ulit. So, hindi mo alam na bawal pala yung gift giving. Tapos kaya ngayon. Tapos, ang laban. Yun yung magiging base nila para patalisikin nila yung protocol. Okay, like for example, the most basic known protocol in this new norm na meron tayo, tinatawag nating IFTF protocol, health protocol. Okay, so susunod sa mask, sa face shield, sa paglabas. So kailangan alam natin yan. Okay? Kapag hindi binaliwala mo yan, malaking pera din ang penalty pag ka. Okay? Ganun din sa corporate world or sa business. Kailangan alam mo yung pamamalakad, yung bawal, yung do's and don'ts ng company. And that is what we call protocol. Okay? So, for example, nag-bypass ka. May problema sa kumpanya. Dapat tinanong mo na sa manager, dinaan mo na agad sa presidente ng kumpanya. Okay? Binaypass mo na yung manager at sakay mo na sa taas pa ng konti ng manager. So, kailangan ay pagdating din sa mga line of authority, alam mo din yung dapat mong pangganyan, okay? Sa school, for example, pag may gulo, kailangan wag muna sa guidance counselor. Kayo muna. Pag hindi talaga kayo, pwede sa advisor. Pag hindi kaya ng advisor, sa counselor. Hindi talaga kaya ng counselor, referral na yan sa academic coordinator or sa disciplinarian or the worst, last pa lang yun sa principal. So, meron tayong protocol din with regards sa line of authority. Appointments, okay? Pag with regards sa appointments, hindi ka basta-basta pupunta lang na, pwede ko bang i-meeting si Mr. So-and-so? Okay? Hindi pwede yun. Kailangan mag-set ka ng appointment, okay? Sir, pwede ba akong mag-appointment sa iyo sa araw na ito? Available ba kayo? Okay, so, meron sa secretary, he will appoint you. Kailangan pumunta ka rin sa time na yun. Okay? So, dahil napaka-busy, like for example, mga lawyers, mga accountants, they are very busy people. Okay? Kailangan mag-set ka ng appointment. Number 2, greetings. Very greet people. Okay? So, kailangan na, at least alam mo na kailangan pala na company, for example, ay happy, toothpaste. Tapos pumunta sa company, hello, good morning. Kailangan happy ka kasi yun yung product ninyo. Happy ka. Okay? And gift giving. Sabi ko na yan. Okay? So number 6, let's go to the marketing practices. When we talk about marketing practices, these are the process that involves a product or service attributes, pricing, distribution, and promotion. All of these activities must work together to assure successful marketing. Parang sinabi ko last module natin, yung business concept, business plan. Okay? Kung paano mo siya mino-market, paano mo siya pinopromote, ina-advertise, paano mo siya dinidistribute, paano mo siya minimake well-known society para maging sikat, okay, para siya may endorse, mga bagay na yun. Kailangan alam mo yun, okay, sa social media, sa newspapers, sa media, sa television, at kung saan pa. Kaya kailangan ay meron kang marketing practices. Hindi ka lang stick sa isa strategy. Ano yung mga dapat i-consider mo doon? Of course, number 1 is meeting customers' needs. Yung kayo lang kailangan. Okay? You don't market the things that they don't need. Okay? So, kailangan, primarily, kailangan nila yung advertise mo. Sa time na to, yung mass. Sa time nito, mga gamot, supplements. Yan. Kasi kailangan natin palakasin yung immune system natin. Kaya ito, mga pagkain. Kasi mga stress yung tao ngayon sa bahay, sa bahay nila. So, kaya ang mga pagkain yun, click na click. Okay, ano ba yung gusto ng tao ngayon? Ano ba yung papasaya sa tao ngayon? Ano magpapatanggal sa stress natin ngayong new norm? Okay, kaya tingnan nyo, pansinin nyo sa Bansud. Ang dami ng kainan. Milk teahan, mga chicken wings, hotdog and bologna, chicken macaroni. Okay, ang dami na, grabe. So, patuloy pa rin sila. Okay, so meeting customer needs involves more than assumptions made by businesses about what customers want. Okay, so the needs, the wants, and demands. So you should consider that. The needs, of course, ito yung mga basic needs ng tao. Physical, the food, the clothing, warmth, and safety. Social, the belonging and affection. Individual, the knowledge and self-expression. So wants natin, yung mga gusto natin. Okay, mabubuhay tayo kahit wala nito. Okay, forms that things take as they are shaped by culture, individuality, personality, and demands. Ano ba yung in na in ngayon? Swak na swak. Okay, so yung mga in demand sa panahon natin ngayon. Okay, so sa panahon natin ngayon, post-millennial, tayo sila yung milk tea. Dahil milk tea. Okay, chicken wings, expect din. Okay, dati mga inasal, mga only rice, ngayon hindi na masyado. Okay, so marketing practices also, you should know picking the right place. Okay, kailangan naman yung produkto na iyong ini-endorse, minamarket mo, ay kailangan naman talaga nasa tamang lugar. Huwag na huwag kang mag-i-endorse ng Wi-Fi sa bundok. Kasi hindi ka alam gamitin ng mga tribo nating kapatid yan. Okay? Kailangan ay swak sa kanila. Okay? Ang gusto nyo mapasaya yung mga kapatid natin mga yan, dala nyo sila ng mga sardinas, mga dilata, gusto nila yan. Rather than bigyan sila ng mga damit. Okay? By experience, yun yung aking napasin sa kanila. Okay? So you should pick the right place. Okay? So, ito bang product ko ay swak na swak sa Pilipino? Ito bang produkto ko ay swak na swak sa mga Bansudenyo? Okay? So, kailangan alam ninyo na itong produkto ko ay narapat sa lugar na ito. Hindi ka lang magkukonsider dahil ito ay sikat na sa buong mundo, sa Pilipinas. Make sure yan din ay akma sa iyong lugar. Okay? The segmentation, the targeting, and then positioning. Okay? So marketing practices also, you should need the access. Okay? Kasi naming access is the place part of the marketing mix. Okay? Nakakapasok ba? Yan ang transportation, makakapasok tayo dyan. Nakakapag-deliver tayo ba tayo dyan regularly? Napupuntahan ba yun ang customer natin? Nagtayo ka ng restaurant sa sobrang liblib na lugar na puro gubat, na at least aakit ka pa, hassle talaga. So, hindi accessible sa customer. Malulugi ka lang. Kailangan accessible. Okay? Kaya ng the right place kanina, kailangan ito ba ay napupuntahan ng mga tao. Kaya mahal yung mga establishment sa tabing highway, yung mga yon kasi mga commercial yun eh. At yun yung mga puntahan ng tao. At mura ang upa sa mga lugar na makuntiyan. Okay? Pero kapag yung produkto mo naman ay talagang swak na swak, kahit saan ka pa pupuntahan ka. Okay? Pero make sure, in the general rules sa marketing process, access is one of the keys to a successful marketing strategy. Okay? Of course, number 4 is the effective promotion. Kailangan i-promote mo siya ng maayos. Okay? So, paano mo ipopromote yung produkto mo? Social media, sa Facebook, di ba? So, maganda mo yung presentation. Picture mo siya na as if too good to be true. Okay? Kailangan maganda yung picture. Presentation yan, kung pagkain yan, kung mga drinks yan, kailangan yung mga label yan. Okay? Sa radio station, sa television, kung malakihan na yan, kailangan effective promotion mo. And the effective promotion, of course, is the customer. Kapag nagustuhan ng customer mo yung iyong produkto, kakalat ka. Uy, try natin yun, masarap yun. Uy, try natin yan. So, may referral. Dahil sa referral, sasarap yung iyong produkto. Okay? So, you should have an effective promotion with regards to your product. And now, let's go to the last common practices in business organization which is the documentation. Tada! Documentation is basically the process of filing, saving, archiving the documents of the company. Okay, so yun lang yun. Kalap ng mga papel at pag-ingat ng mga bagay nito at pag-secure nito sa mga lagayan. Okay, kunyari yung mga expenses, yung mga disbursements, yung mga receipts, interest, yung ganyan, yung mga plano, annual plan, lahat ng mga papel na napaka-importante sa kumpanya kailangan naka-file yan. Yung mga certificates, yung mga permits, kailangan well-documented ng mga yan. Okay? Even yung mga promotion, kailangan lahat yan ay well-documented. Secured. Hindi basta yung pagpasok ng mga tao, nakakalat yung mga papel mo dyan, tapos nakikita nila, ito pala yung plano mo, okay, ito pala yung plano mo, okay, kunin mo yan. Okay? So, pwede pang nakawa ng intellectual property, okay? So, kailangan lahat ng mga yan ay well-documented. Naka-file lahat ng mga importanteng papeles sa opisina, okay? So, ang isa sa mga example dyan ay yung Code of Ethics. Kailangan well-documented yung Constitution and Bylaws, and even yung Code of Ethics. Okay, Code of Ethics, ito yung pamantayan ng mga empleyado at mga manggagawa, mga employer, kung paano sila mag-ugali, umakto sa kanilang pagtatrabaho. Okay? So, lahat ng mga yan ay dapat well-documented. Hindi pwedeng hearsay lang. Nagkwentuhan lang kayo, ito yung bawal, ito yung tama. Ito yung batas, sa pamagitan lang ng kwentuhan. Hindi pwedeng ganon. Everything should be well documented, black and white. Pag nagmi-meeting kayo, kailangan by minutes. Okay? So, kailangan black and white. Hindi pwede yung walang patunay. Okay? For example, pagdating sa sabi mo sa meeting na approve na itong ating na sinabi kukunin nating accountant. Okay? Pero hindi naka-minutes. So, pwedeng maging basis yun para ma-void yung iyong suggestion na siya lang kunin ng accountant. Kasi, wala sa iyong minota, katitikan, or sa minutes. Okay? Sabi mo, ito yung bilhin ko na printer. Okay? Overpricing. Halimbawa, hindi siya overpricing. Parang gano'n. Ayan. Nakasulat dyan. Ganyan. Ayan. Kung nakasulat yun, ito yung bibilhin, ito yung price, ito yung canvas. Tapos, yun nga yung nakita mo mabili kahit mahal dahil approve na sa minute, wala kang pananagutan. Dahil ikaw ay nasa tama, sinunod mo lang ang inyong napagpulungan. Kaya, everything should be well documented. Okay? So, hindi ka pwede magpatalsik ng isang empleyado kung wala kang basihang papel. Okay? So, lahat ay dapat ay nakatala. Okay? These are the 7 common practices in business organization. Then again, number 1 ay tinatawag nating bookkeeping. Number 2 ay tinatawag nating policies. Number 3 is reportorial requirements. Number 4 is decorum. Number 5 is protocol. Number 6 ay tinatawag nating marketing practices. And number 7 ay tinatawag nating documentation. For listening to our business ethics and social responsibility. Then again, my name is Sir Rad Castillo, the Mr. Stark and Iron Man of Bansud Institute. Again, I will say it to you, we love you, 3000.